The sky was dark and full of smoke as the small human ship fell through the clouds of Volcara Prime. It was not a planet made for humans. The trees were too big, the air was heavy, and the sounds were not friendly. Jay was the only one alive. He had survived the crash, but now he had to survive the planet. He carried only a small scanner and a laser knife. Everything else was lost in the fire. He walked through the thick jungle slowly. Every step made a sound. Every shadow looked alive. He knew this planet was dangerous, unknown, unmapped, deadly. He heard a strange noise ahead, a loud growl, a cry mixed with pain and anger. Jay moved closer, hiding behind a tree. He saw a large creature trapped in a glowing energy net. It was strong and tall, covered in dark fur. Its yellow eyes were wild. Its arms were thick like steel. Its legs were like a lion, but it was not a beast. It was a woman, an alien Beastwoman. And she was not just angry, she was proud. Even in pain, Jay looked around. He saw movement. In the trees, 3 other aliens were watching her from above. They were laughing hunters. They had set the trap. They were waiting for her to die slowly. Jay knew he had 2 choices. Walk away and stay safe, or do something stupid, something brave, something human. He chose to act. He moved around the trees. He found the control panel of the energy net. It was alien tech, but he had trained with many systems. He pressed a few buttons. The net sparked. The trap flickered. The hunters looked down in shock. Net broke. The Beastwoman fell to the ground with a roar. She looked around. Then her eyes locked on Jay. She jumped. Jay raised his hands, but she was already on him. Her claws stopped inches from his face. She looked into his eyes. She sniffed the air. Then she growled deep, not angry, not violent, something else. She spoke in a rough voice, words mixed with her language and broken galactic speech. You saved me. Jay could not move. He nodded slowly. She stood tall and spoke again. Now you are mine. Jay blinked. What? She grabbed him and lifted him over her shoulder. He shouted, "Hey, wait, put me down. What are you doing?" She growled again, louder this time, not at him. At the trees above, the hunters had vanished. She ran into the forest, fast, strong, jumping over rocks and fallen trees. Jay held onto her shoulder, trying not to fall. He looked up at the sky. It was getting dark. The red sun was setting. Strange lights moved in the clouds. Where was she taking him? Who was she? What did she mean? You are mine. The jungle got thicker. The sounds got louder. Jay saw glowing plants and flying creatures with no eyes. Finally, she stopped near a cliff. She placed Jay down gently on the ground. She looked at him again. Her breathing was deep. Her eyes calmer now. She sat beside him and spoke slowly. Name? Jay. He said, "My name is Jay." She touched her chest. Karen. Jay tried to understand. She was not just a beast. She had a name, a mind, and something more. She looked at him and spoke with more force. Jay, you saved me. Now bond begins. You our mate. Jay stood up confused. Wait, what mate? No, I just helped. She stood too, tall and powerful. Tribe rule, save life, life bond. Mate. Jay backed away. Look, I don't know your tribe, I don't know your rules. I was just helping. She stepped forward, eyes locked on him. Then help means claim. Now tribe must see. Tribe must test you. Come. Jay looked around. He had no choice. She could crush him, but she didn't. She could leave him, but she didn't. She wanted him to go with her to her tribe, to her world. Followed slowly. The jungle was still loud, but now he was not alone. A Karen walked ahead, her back strong, her step sure. Jay whispered to himself, what did I get myself into? Above them, in the high trees, the old alien hunters watched in silence. They did not laugh now. The bond had begun, and they knew what came next. Danger, ritual, blood, and war. Jay woke up to the sound of drums, slow, deep thumps like heartbeats. He was lying on soft grass inside a cave. Above him, the ceiling glowed with light stones. Beside him, the fire was still warm. He sat up. His head hurt. His arms had strange marks on them, painted lines, symbols, tribe markings. He looked around. He was not alone. Dozens of eyes stared at him from the shadows, big eyes, gold and green, some wide with curiosity, others narrow with hate. Beast-like warriors stood in a circle. Some held spears, others carried bone weapons. Their bodies were tall and strong, fur-covered and wild. But they were not animals. They had order, they had law, they had a tribe of Karen. Stepped forward. She was dressed differently now. Her fur was braided, her chest marked with glowing paint. She looked like a leader, not just a fighter, a warrior of rank. She raised her claw. Spoke in her deep voice, "He is mine by blood and by bond. He saved me from the hunter trap. Now I claim him." A loud growl came from the side. Another Beastwoman stepped out of the crowd. Taller than Corinne, scars on her arms, eyes cold like ice. She spoke with anger. "No human may join the fire. No soft skin can wear the mark. Your bond is not tested, not proven." The crowd growled low, a sound of agreement. The tribe was not happy. Jay stood slowly. His heart raced. He had no weapon, no translator. Only his voice. "I didn't mean to bond. I just helped. I don't want trouble." They didn't understand every word, but they understood his fear. Karen turned to him. Spoke softer. "Now you stand with me. You live, you run. You earn name." Jay looked at her, then at the others. He was in their world now. No ship, no way home, only Corinne and the fire of this wild tribe. The elder beast stepped forward. She wore bones on her neck. She was blind in one eye. Her voice was rough like stone. Then he must face the trial like all mates before. Let the jungle test his bones. Let the night taste his fear. Corinne growled, "Too soon. He is not ready." The elder slammed her staff on the ground. "Ready or dead. That is the way." The shouted. Some clapped their claws. Others pointed at Jay. Corinne stepped close to Jay, placed her hand on his chest, her claws gentle. "Now one night alone. No help, no food, only blade. Survive until sun returns." Jay looked into her eyes. He saw something strange, worry, not for herself. For him. Jay nodded slowly. "I'll try." The tribe took him to the edge of the jungle. Karen handed him a small bone knife. She leaned close and whispered, "Do not trust the dark. Do not drink the red water. Do not run from the quiet." Jay wanted to ask what that meant, but they pushed him forward, and then he was alone. The jungle at night was worse. The trees moved without wind. The air was thick like smoke. He walked slowly. Every sound felt like danger. He found a cave to hide, but inside he saw glowing eyes. He backed away. He climbed a tree, but something above hissed. He dropped fast. The night was long. At one point he heard whispers, not words, not voices, but something calling. He covered his ears, sat behind a stone, and waited. Hours passed. He killed a snake with the bone knife. He didn't eat it, just sat there, breathing, watching, trying to stay awake. Then a growl, not close, but not far. He stood ready to run, but then stopped. From the shadows, a figure stepped out. It was not Karen. It was another Beastwoman, but her eyes were wrong, empty. Her body moved like a puppet. She walked past him, did not see him. Jay held his breath. Something was wrong in this jungle. Something older than the tribe. Something darker. He survived the night. Barely at sunrise he walked out of the trees, dirty, shaken, but alive. The tribe waited. Corinne ran to him, touched his face. "He lives. He earns name." But the elder looked deeper. "The dark touched him," she said. "And the dark remembers." Jay did not understand, but he knew one thing. He was now part of this world, and this world was not just wild, it was watching him. Jay woke up with dirt in his mouth and the sound of whispers in his ears. But there was no one around. The jungle was quiet, now too quiet. Fire from the trial night was gone. The marks on his arm had faded, but something else had stayed. A dream. A warning, a face in the dark, eyes without light. A voice that didn't speak in words. He rubbed his forehead and looked up. Karen was sitting near him, her eyes not blinking. She had been watching him sleep. "You saw the hollow walker," she said, voice low, almost a whisper. Jay nodded slowly. "I think so. What was it?" Corinne did not answer at first. She looked at the trees. Not all things in this jungle are alive. Some are memory, old things, trapped things, dead but walking. Jay stood up, his legs still shaking. "From the night did I pass the trial?" he asked. Karen looked at him. "You survived. That is more than most." The tribe stood in a half circle when he returned. Some clapped, some turned away. The elder stepped forward. She did not smile. She only said one word, Named. Karen nodded, then turned to Jay. "Your name, your tribe name. They will call you it from now." Jay thought for a second, then said Ash, because I came from fire. The tribe repeated the word, ash, and then it was done. He was one of them, not fully, but enough. To stay later that day, Karen led him through the deeper part of the forest. She said, there is something I want to show you. Something even my tribe fears. They moved past tall trees, past bones hanging from branches, past silent streams that reflected. No face. Jay felt strange, like something was watching from behind the leaves. He turned twice. Nothing was there. But still, that feeling never left. They stopped near a cliff. Hidden behind vines was a door. Metal, not stone, alien. But not hers. Jay stepped closer. It was cold to the touch. Even in the heat, he looked at Karen. What is this? She replied. Your kind made this. Long ago, before my tribe. Before the trees. Jay's breath caught. Humans here before Karen helped him open the door. Inside was not a cave. It was a lab, or maybe a bunker. Screens covered in dust, lights dead. But not all. One panel blinked slowly. Blue. Jay touched Ida. Voice came from nowhere. Human detected. Welcome back. Jay stepped back. What? Who said that? The screen lit up. A face formed. Not real, just lines of program. I am ARC-17. This station was left by Earth Command, year 2452. Mission failed. All humans lost. Jay swallowed hard. This place was from Earth. This machine knew him. Karen looked around, uncomfortable. She didn't like the room. ARC-17 continued. You carry genetic markers from Earth. You are last known match. You must listen. Jay leaned closer. What do you mean? The AI spoke faster now. An ancient force is buried on this planet. It feeds on memory. It walks without life. It touched you last night. You must leave, or it will follow. Karen growled. She stepped in front of Jay. He stays. He is bonded. ARC paused. He will die. You both will. Jay turned to her. I need answers. This thing, this hollow walker, what is it? ARC replied. A weapon left behind, a curse made by minds long gone. It cannot be killed, only sealed, and the seal is breaking. Jay stepped back, his heart racing. Outside, the trees were moving again. The jungle was waking up. Something had been disturbed. Karen grabbed his arm. We go now. They ran back to the tribe. When they arrived, smoke was rising. A hut was burning. A warrior limped forward, eyes wide. The dark came early. It walked through fire. It said the name Ash. Jay felt cold. The hollow walker. It knew him. It had followed him, and now it was coming closer. Jay couldn't sleep anymore. Not after what the fire warrior told him. Hollow Walker had spoken, and it spoke his name that night. He sat outside the cave watching the stars above Velkara Prime. But one star was not still. It blinked, then moved. Jay stared at it. That's not a star, he whispered. Duran stood behind him. She had been watching him again. She always did now. She said, Sky speaks tonight. Old sky, dead sky. Jay didn't understand, but something in her voice told him the sky was not just for looking. Not on this planet. In the morning, Jay returned to the hidden bunker with Karen. He couldn't ignore it anymore. The eye inside ARC-17. It knew things as they entered. The lights turned on one by one, as if the station had been waiting only for him. ARC's voice was calm, but not friendly. Welcome back. Human unit Ash status linked. Jay blinked. What do you mean linked? ARC answered. Your DNA is bound to this station. You are the last recorded pilot of Expedition 9. Jay stepped back. That's impossible. I was born on Mars. I was never in this program. ARC replied. Incorrect. Your blood carries memories hidden generations. The expedition failed, but the genes did not. Karen growled low. This place has too many ghosts. ARC continued. The creature you saw, the Hollow Walker, was created in this facility. It was meant to protect us, but it broke. Jay frowned. Why can't we just destroy it? ARC said. Because it is not alive. It is memory. It is the past given shape. It does not die. It only remembers. And now it remembers you. Jay looked around the station. Maps, photos, human faces. Some looked like him. He stepped into a side room. A cryopod shattered. Karen followed. What is this place really? She asked. Jay said softly, a graveyard. But then something strange happened. The wall lit up. A hologram appeared. Not a RC, not a screen. A woman, human, wearing Earth military clothes. Hello, Ash, if you're seeing this. Then somehow, "You made it back." Jay didn't move. He recognized her voice from his father's old recordings, his great-grandmother, Commander Alara. "Cross," she continued, "we failed this planet. We woke something that feeds on time, on bloodlines. We locked it deep under the jungle. But the jungle moves. The lock weakens one day. It will find its name again," Jay whispered. "It found mine." Alara's image flickered. "If you're the last, then you must choose: run and seal the sky forever, or stay and fight what cannot be killed." The image vanished. Silencer looked at him. "This is your tribe, your fire." Jay nodded, but said nothing. They left the station. The door shut behind them. This time it did not blink blue. It stayed dark outside. Smoke again. More huts burned. More warriors wounded. The Hollow Walker had returned in the night. It did not kill, it whispered. It marked in one child, a small beast child, was now missing, taken. The tribe gathered around Jay, around Karensim, shouted, "The human brings death. He must leave. He must break the bond." Karen stepped forward, her voice like thunder. "He stays, he fights. I fight with him." But the elder raised her hand. "Then fight. Show us, use your sky mind. Win us a path, or we all fall." Jay looked around. These people were not just beasts. They were protectors, ancient and wild, but brave. He nodded. "Then we prepare." Karen placed her hand in his. Their bond now more than just survival. It was trust. It was choice. Jay looked at the jungle. Somewhere the Hollow Walker waited. Somewhere the machine was still remembering, and the stars above were no longer still. It began with the sky bleeding light, not red like sunset, not orange like fire, but silver sharp cold. The stars above Valkara Prime shifted, not with time, but with purpose. A single white beam shot down from space. It did not burn. It hummed like a machine, whispering a warning. The tribe watched in silence. Even the animals hid. Even the wind stopped. Jay stood at the edge of the cliff, staring at the sky, his hand tight around the bone knife, not because he planned to fight with it, but because it was the only thing that had not changed. Karen stood beside him, her fur lifted in the wind, her breath slow, her voice low. "Sky machines," she said. "Hunters from above." Jay's thoughts raced. He remembered the IARC's last words. "You triggered a signal. You woke more than memory." Now that signal had been received. He turned to Karen. "We need to warn them. Not just your tribe." The others took. Karen looked at him. "There are no others, not near, not ready. They do not listen." "Then we make them," Jay said. Ran for 2 days. They crossed the jungle, through rivers that whispered names, through valleys with broken bones of machines. Jay didn't ask what killed them. He just kept moving. They reached the cliff village of the Skyhowl tribe, rivals of Karen's. People stronger, more proud, more dangerous. Jay stepped forward first. They aimed spears at him, growled low. But Karen came behind him. Raising her claw in a symbol of parley, she shouted across the stone floor, "The sky has opened, the hollow stirs, and now the real hunt begins." The Skyhowl leader stepped forward. His name was Varok. He was missing one horn, but his eyes were sharp like blades. He spoke with challenge. "You bring a human. You bring fire. Why should we trust the broken bond?" Jay stepped closer. "Because I know what's coming." He pointed at the sky. "They are not gods. They are machines. And I know how they think." Varrock growled. "Then prove it. If you wear the name Ash, then burn something worth burning." Jay turned to Karen. "Give me one chance. Take me to the old bones." The metal Karen hesitated, then nodded. That night, they returned to the hidden bunker. Jay connected to Arake again. This time he did not ask questions. He gave commands. "Show me their signal." He said, "Where are they?" "Coming from ARC," replied multiple objects in descent. Not drones, not human, unregistered design, intent unknown. Jay opened a communication channel. Typed fast on the panel. Simple message to whoever is listening. "This world is not dead. You will find resistance." He hit send behind him. Karen was quiet. "What did you do?" she asked. "I made sure they know we are not prey." The next day, the ships came. They did not roar. They whispered, black metal silent engines. They hovered over the jungle like shadows. Without light, creatures stepped out, tall, no eyes, thin limbs, claws like wire. They didn't speak, they scanned. They moved. Jay watched from the trees. He recognized the shape of their armor, salvaged tech pieces from Earth. They had been here before. Karen whispered, "Do we fight?" Jay looked at her. "No, we hunt." They moved through the trees. Silently, Jay showed Karen how to trap footsteps, how to build distractions. He used rope, leaves, old tech from the bunker. Karen showed him how to move without sound, how to sense breath in the air, how to kill with one strike. Together they hunted the hunters in the night. One of the machines was found torn apart. Another was found burned with his scanner smashed. The invaders grew cautious. Jay knew what they were, scouts. Not the full force, just teeth to test the skin, and they would report back soon. That night Karen sat beside him near the river. "The bond has changed," she said. Jay looked at her. "Yes, I think it's real now." She smiled, faint but real. Then a sound in the distance, not a roar, not a growl, a voice, the hollow walker calling his name, Ash, Ash. But this time it was not alone. The jungle held its breath. Leaves no longer danced. Birds no longer sang. Even the wind had stopped. Something was coming, but not from the sky, from below, from the deep roots, from the cracks in the old stone. Jay stood in the middle of the gathering fire circle. Tribe warriors sat around him, painted, armed, waiting. Karen stood at his side, her face marked with war symbols, her eyes calm. But her hands were shaking. Jay had never seen her afraid. He turned to the crowd. They didn't speak his language, but they could feel his voice. "This planet is not dying, it is waking." The hollow walker is not just a shadow, it is memory, and now it remembers us. Some warriors growled, others nodded. Jay stepped closer to the fire. "They came from space, machines, steel hunters, but we are not machines. We are the wild, we are the ground, we are the scream in the night." The tribe stood for the first time. Jay was not a visitor, not an outsider. He was fireburn. He was ash. That night the sky cracked open. Black ships fell like knives. No sound, no warning. The first strike burned the old trees. The second opened the earth. From the smoke came the hollow walker, but it was no longer alone. It had found others, not copies, not allies, but echoes, like it had pulled its own thoughts from the soil. Now there were many, not a monster, a memory army. They did not walk, they slid. They did not scream, they whispered one word again, and come again. Ash, Ash, Ash. Jay watched from the high rock. The hollow had changed. It now wore a shape like him, a twisted mirror, bones of metal, skin of smoke. Karen growled low. "It mocks you," Jay whispered. "It remembers me too well." He turned to his team. Karen, Varrock from the Skyhowl tribe, 3 elders, 12 warriors. "This is not a battle," he said. "This is a message." Karen looked at him. "Then we send one back." They moved fast like fire through dry roots. Jay had placed traps around the canyon, old human tech, connected to the eye, linked to charges, EMP bursts, heat mines. The jungle lit up. The hollow creatures screeched, not in pain but in confusion. Their thoughts were shared, and now they were breaking. Karen leapt into the fight. Her claws tore one echo in half. Jay followed, using a plasma blade he took from the fallen ship. This was not survival now. This was defense. This was rage. One echo crawled toward him. Its face flickered between Jay's and someone else's, a woman's face. Commander Alara. Jay froze. The echo spoke. "You are already me. You are already gone." He stabbed it through the throat. The echo vanished in dust. Karen called him back. "Jay, the walker comes," and it did, towering above them, its eyes glowing black, its chest marked with ancient earth writing. It opened its arms. "Ash, give in. You are memory." To Jay stood still for a moment. He felt it, the pull, like gravity on the mind, but then Karen's hand grabbed his shoulder. Her touch broke the echo. Jay looked at her and remembered who he was. "I'm not a memory, I'm the one who remembers." He pulled the eye trigger. A signal blast hit the hollow walker, full force, light, sound, pain. The walker screamed, its body breaking into shards of smoke and code. The echoes fell with it. The battle was over, but the war was not. The sky above still blinked. More ships were coming, more hunters, bigger. Jay sat beside Karen near the fire, blood on his arm, but breath still in his chest. She looked at him. "You are not weak anymore." Jay looked at her. "Neither Are we? The jungle was quiet again, but this time it wasn't fear, it was respect. The trees had seen war, the sky had tasted fire. The ground still held the bones of memory, but something had changed at the center of the old ruins. A new light had appeared, not red, not blue, but white, pure, unmoving. Jay stood in front of it. Karen beside him. Neither spoke. The light came from the AIC-17, now fully awake, now fully open. The bunker door was gone. In its place a portal, a gate back to Earth. ARC's voice echoed around them, flat, emotionless. Final chance. The coordinates are set. You may return your DN. A matches Earth. Command passage is safe. One time use only. Jay didn't answer right away. His eyes were locked on the glowing doorway. It showed images, cities in the clouds, blue oceans, white moons, people like him. Karen looked at the light, then at Jay. She didn't speak either, but her silence was not cold. It was full of waiting, of wonder, of fear. Jay took one step toward the portal. It hummed. One step back. It dimmed. He looked at Karini. Don't know what I'm supposed to do. She tilted her head, voice low. Then do what you want to do. Jay looked around the bunker. The metal walls, the glowing screens, old human tech, old mistakes. This was where it started. The hollow, the traps, the fire, but outside this place, in the wild, in the tribe, with Karine, he had found something else. He'd found himself. Karen finally spoke. If you go, the bond breaks, not just mine, yours. Jay turned to her fully. Do you want me to stay? She shook her head. Not want, need, is not saying stay. If heart stays. Not because I asked. Jay looked at the portal again. It glowed softly now, waiting. Stepped toward it, again. Close enough to feel the warmth. Then he reached into his pocket and dropped the old earth patch into the light. It burned slowly. Gone. He stepped back, turned around. I choose here. I choose now. Karine said nothing. She just walked to him, took his hand, and for the first time did not growl, did not command. She smiled. Outside, the jungle moved again. But it no longer felt hungry. The tribes began to gather. Sky Howl, Firetooth. Even the wandering silent ones from the north. They came because the one called Ash had stayed, because he had fought and bled and burned with them. The hollow was gone, but not forgotten, because forgetting was the first mistake. Jay stood on the old shipwreck hill, looked at the stars again. He no longer searched for home out there. His home was here, with Karen, with the bond with the wild, the AI powered. Down silently, the portal faded. Earth disappeared, but something better remained. Not steel, not light, not machines. Memory, real memory, built together, step by step, hand in hand. Karen looked up at him. We hunt tomorrow. Jay nodded. Then let's rest today. And in the firelight, the wild, the human, the beast, and the bond became legend.